Hi guys, James here, and welcome to the presentation of the 10-year projection of a typical buy-to-let investment property up here in the Northeast, something that you will be adding to your portfolio if you are investing up here. So I'm going to get straight into it. Share my screen. Now, with property being a long-term investment strategy, especially when you're building a portfolio, it's good to get, obviously you've got to get an idea of what that property is going to look like on a year-to-year basis, but you also need to know what the property looks like further down the line. So using this one as an example, this one is one that we sourced for one of our out-of-town clients. It's a two-bedroom terraced house, mid-terrace house in Central Gateshead, Tyne and Wear. This particular property was solid mid-terrace property, but it was in need of a little bit of a refurbishment inside, light refurbishment, new kitchen, bathroom, some plastering, painting, and flooring, and a few other bits and bobs, just to bring it up to scratch, bring it up to that street value. So you purchased your property. What does your investment look like 10 years down the line? Well, let's get into it. So that particular property had an end market value of 115,000. I think it's going to push to 120,000. So I like to be conservative though. So 115,000 is pretty much what they were going for in the street in the surrounding areas. But because it needed a little bit of a refurb done to it, it had a current market value of 100,000. And we negotiated a discount for our client and got the purchase price for £90,000. This was an off-market property. We were direct to the vendor on this one. So £90,000 purchase price. That's a 10% discount negotiated, which is pretty good. And because there was a refurbishment to take place, we're going to increase the value by 15%, which meant total capital growth on purchase, 25%. So before you've even done anything, you've pretty much created 25% of equity in that property. So what does the purchase look like figures wise? So investors' capital invested, you've got your 25% deposit, so £22,500. The refurbishment was roughly £15,000 to bring it up to scratch. Legal fees, £1,500 for the conveyancing, and 3% stamp duty, £2,700, which give you a total acquisition cost of £41,700 to purchase this property. Okay. Always remember, you make your money when you buy. How does that work? Well, always buy discounts and always aim to add the value through refurbishment. That's pretty much a rule of thumb on how you win in property, especially when you're building your portfolio and you're purchasing buy-to-let properties. So you make your money when you buy. And there you go. Equity created on day one of purchase, £25,000, which gives you a total amount of equity in the property of 47,500. If you think you've got your deposits, that counts as equity as well. So that's how much equity you've got in that property when you bought it. And we're going to touch on the rents now. So the rental income for this particular one, monthly rent of £700 a month, pretty good. I've just seen rents going crazy up in the Northeast at the minute. Supply and demand, that's it, pushing the rents up, and people are paying it. People are happy to pay it for a decent quality home. So £700 a month for this one. £380 per month expenses. Now your expenses are, you'll have an interest-only mortgage payment to make, 10% management fee to the letting agent. They'll fully manage the property for you, which is handy because majority of the people we source properties for and build portfolios for, they live outside the region. They're either in London, Birmingham, the like, or clients, what clients abroad in Bali in the Middle East as well. So they need them properties fully managed after that. And you'll also have your landlord insurance as well in with that expenses. So 700 minus 380 gives you a total cash flow each month of £320. That's your profit monthly on your rent. And over a 12-month period, that property is going to generate you £3,840 every single year. Okay. And what does that look like in 10 years' time? So let's just say you, as the investor, you keep your property for 10 years. I've already worked out that the net return on investment per annum based on the capital that you've invested, which was 41,700. Yes, as I check. So 9.2% return per year on the capital that you've invested. Yeah, works out at £3,840 per year, which is your rent return, as we've discussed. Times it by 10, simple as that. So the amount of rent over 10 years, £38,400 generated in this property. Now I've not allowed for rent increases over that 10 years, but I guarantee rents will have gone up in that time frame. So that figure there will definitely be a lot higher. But for presentation purposes, keeping it simple with that one. And on to the value of the property. So let's just say the value of that property grows annually by 2%. You know, on average, could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less on a year-to-year basis, depending on how the property market goes. But on average, 2% annually, we're going to work off that. And also that compounds over that 10 years as well. So compounded 2% annual increase over the 10 years, that property is now worth £140,185. Okay. Bear in mind that when you purchased it, you've done the refurbishment work and you took the value up to 115,000. It's now worth that. You've created £25,185 in that 10-year period, just capital growth alone. The beauty of property, prices only ever go one way. And also bear in mind, don't forget the equity that you created on purchase with your discount and your value add with the refurbishment, £25,000 there, which gives you a total equity created over 10 years, £50,185. Okay. Equity plus rent over 10 years, 50,185 plus £38,400 rent that you've generated, which gives you a grand total made over 10 years, £88,585, which isn't too bad. Think on your the amount that you invested initially, 41,700. That works out at a 21% return on your investment every single year for 10 years. That's not a compounded figure, just for clarity, but that's what it works out at year on year. And that's pretty much your 10-year projection. A few things for you to think about at the end of this. Think about the money you've got in the bank right now, and think about what return you're getting in the bank at the minute. I guarantee it's nowhere near that, you know. And also think about what inflation's doing to your money in the bank also, you know. Just because you've got, say, £50,000 in the bank, if inflation's at 2%, you know, then that money is degrading by 2% every single year if it's just sitting there waiting, which is the beauty of property. You know, it's about getting ahead of inflation, getting ahead of the bank returns that they offer you, and getting your money working for you, you know, and getting it working towards your future. And yeah, that's it, guys. I'm gonna leave it there. Any questions, you know, feel free to contact me on the details below. The details on the screen, sorry. Scan the code there, that'll take you straight to the website. You know, you can check the website out and you can reach out that way. You know, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have got. Okay. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.